drawer I need to go through. I'm organizing today. My roommate just went for a run, and so I decided to pick up and talk a little bit more about boot camp. I don't remember what I was talking about. I'll rewatch it and continue on where I was later. But for now, I just wanted to touch on some things that it's good to know for boot camp. Males are males and females are females. It's not girls and guys. It's not ladies. So a lot of the males got in trouble for saying, "Good evening, ladies," because we're not ladies, we're females. And the bathroom is the head. I've already covered that, I think. And some things that you'll want to know for sure is the stuff that they tell you to learn when you're in the DEP program. And the DEP program, for those of you who don't know, once you process through MEPS and you've got what your rate's going to be and stuff, you're basically just waiting for boot camp, and you have to check in every so often in the DEP program. And in DEPs, they'll give you a start guide, and you just study that start guide. And it made life so much easier the first 2 weeks of boot camp because I didn't really have to study. And if you're only in E1, the rates are there. You go E1, E2, E3, and then E4 you become a petty officer, and then E5 is a petty officer, E6 is a petty officer, E7 you become a chief, then you senior chief, then a master chief, then so on, so on, so on, so on. And anyhow, if you're only in E1, I'm in E3 because of college, so my next rate will be a petty officer, so that's pretty cool. And I basically just have to study up and take a test for that, and I can apply 6 months after I graduate my A school. But if you're only in E1, once you first get to boot camp, you can take the test, and if you pass your first PFA, which is the mile-and-a-half run, the sit-ups and the push-ups, and your first test, I think you have to pass both those things, maybe just the test, you'll become an E2, and you'll get paid more. And everybody wants that, right? I see a shadow of someone walking. So anyhow, you'll need to know the chain of command and their names. It'd help to know their collar devices and what they wear on the sleeve of their dress blue uniforms and things like that. You'll also need to know your 11 orders of sentry, your 11 general orders. Those are the orders you'll need to know for standing watch. And for standing watch, you'll do that your entire career, starting in boot camp, A school, still standing watch, everyone stands watch all the time. So make sure you know your 11 general orders and the chain of command. The chain of command is going to change every command you go to, obviously, because I don't have the same... Like, the higher-ups, of course, are always going to stay the same, but now that I'm in A school, the bottom half has changed. The president's still number one, then the vice president, then the secretary of defense, then the secretary of the Navy, and then, like, those always stay the same. And, like, the master chief, petty officer of the Navy, and all that, that's all the same. And you'll need to know those. You need to know their names. Don't just... What I did when I first started... There goes Jenny. So, what I did when I first started was I memorized what order it goes in, like president, vice president, and their titles. Then I put the names to it, and then I put the collar devices, because you'll have to be able to look at a master chief's collar device and see that he's a master chief, not just a senior chief. Senior chief's only 1 star above a superimposed gold USN, silver USN, whatever the hell. Like, you have to know all that shit. And when you're standing watch the first couple of nights that you're in boot camp, there's an OOD, who's the officer of the deck. They have boot camp set up to be like you're on a ship. So you start to understand port side and starboard side, like left and right, and forward and aft instead of front and back. And they slowly but surely, like, you'll get acclimated to learn what it's like to be on a ship. And that's what they call where you live, the ship, and you live in compartments, and you have an officer of the deck, because that's what you'll have on a ship. And so it simulates what's going to be. It's not for any dumb reason. It's so that you know. And I think it's helpful. But you'll be standing watch in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m., and you're tired, and you're just standing there, and the OOD will come in, and he'll quiz you. He'll be like, who is Shit, I can't even think of what the hell titles of things are. Who's your LCPO, and what do they wear for a collar device? And you'll be like, if you don't get it right, sometimes you'll get IT'd, and you'll have to do 8 counts on the spot. You're either smart or you're stupid. I liked to be smart. I didn't like to be... No, you're either smart or you're strong. And I didn't like to be strong. I liked to be smart. So I hardly got IT'd because I knew my shit. Don't so much right now because I'm blanking out, but... if you don't know anything, you'll get IT'd all the time. So in the first couple of weeks of boot camp are hard enough that it'd make life so much easier if you learned your sailor's creed. Forgot about that. I am a United States sailor. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will obey the orders of those appointed over me. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy, and those who go before me defend freedom of me around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, and commitment. I am committed to excellence and fair treatment of all. I really hope I said that right. I said it so fast. Sailor's Creed, 11 general orders of entry, chain of command. If you really want to go above and beyond, you really won't know your whole chain of command until you get there, but you can figure out, like, the admirals and vice admirals and what they wear and shit as a collar device and what they wear on the sleeve of their dress uniform and their shoulder boards. And the RTC Maxim, which is I will not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those among us who do. And it's all in the start guide that they give you. So if you are in the DET program and they didn't give you a start guide, because some of the people were left in the dust around... Some of the recruits didn't get a start guide, and they were, like, completely blind when they walked in. They didn't know shit. And, I mean, you can go through boot camp that way, but it's going to be a lot harder. But if you're going to join boot camp, I advise that you know these things and know them verbatim. Because if you fuck up one word, you're doing 8 counts. If you say only instead of all or some or whatever, you mess up one word, or if you forget one word, you're fucked. So you need to know all those verbatim. Verbatim. And watches. Can I wear a watch? No. If you are at a position of authority, like I was the yeoman, so I could wear a watch, and Master at Arms could wear a watch, and RPOC and AROC, they could all wear watches. Depending on who your RDCs are, though, like sometimes they let people get away with having a watch when they weren't in a position of authority, but a lot of people wanted to know if they could have watches to run the PFA and stuff, but they have a clock there. You don't really need a watch. And what else? I was just going to touch on a few things because I've got to go clean my drawers. I've got to go check on my laundry. I think that's all for now. I think that's all I'll touch on for right now. I don't think I had any more questions. I'll have to go back and read, and I'll tell more stories about after swimming, because I talked about swimming, and the next thing would be talked about learning how to fold, and then getting uniforms. Uniform issue was a cool day. That was a cool day. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later, okay? I'm sorry this was a boring one. I just had to answer some questions because I can't freaking do all that on my iPhone. It's kind of hard. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get a MacBook. It's eating me up. The want is eating me alive. I think I get it next Friday. Well, I'll be able to order it by next Friday. Then I won't have to, they won't get it for quite some time. Okay, bye!